Hello, my beautiful conscious co-creators of the new paradigm. This is Wieteke with another vlog for you. This is part 2. I'm still in Bosnia-Herzegovina with Sam Osmanagich, and we just made another video on so many topics actually concerning the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids, of which Sam here is the main founder and also discoverer, I would say. Another question that I have for you is, so you already shared with us in the previous video that you've been reading hundreds of books since you were very young on the many energetic layers that there are to existence, and this is just what we see, and so forth. So you really did a lot of research way before you even started studying sociology and archaeology, everything that you know so much about today. So I'm wondering, when you discovered this particular site, were you aware of its existence beforehand? Did you know about it? For instance, when you were just a teenager, has it always been calling you, and did you do the whole study and the travel over the world to then come back to your own country and put this into the spotlights?
Well, as a young man, I lived in Sarajevo, today's capital of Bosnia. But I've never came to this particular town, even though it is just half an hour drive from Sarajevo. I never came to Visoko before. My first visit to Visoko was in the year of 2005. 2005. And before that, for 25 years, I had been researching pyramids and ancient civilizations. My PhD is about the Mayan pyramids, Mayan temples in Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, and Mexico. But then I expanded that to the pyramids in Peru, Bolivia, China, Egypt, Sudan, Sicily, Canary Islands, Mauritius, Indonesia, Australia, Cambodia. These are all countries with the pyramids. And it seems that we have our missions in our life. In my particular case, I could see an invisible hand taking me to all these parts of the world, preparing me for the discovery. Not only seeing the pyramids and realizing that majority of them is actually covered by soil and vegetation. Even though they teach us pyramids, Egypt, Peru, but they're in deserts, they're south, no greenery, no rain.
Right.
But majority of them, 250 of them are in central Chinese province of Shanxi, all covered by soil and grass. Tens of thousands of them are in Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and other Central American countries. So I realized that you don't have to see it in order to know that it is a pyramid. So when I came here for the first time in 2005, I came because of a visit to the local museum. It had nothing to do with the pyramids. Nobody wrote about them before. Nobody knew that those artificial structures are actually here, hidden in the central Bosnia and Herzegovina. But then I came to the museum and then I saw this. Then I'm looking, one side, 2, 3, 4, triangular faces, took a compass showed me east, west, north, south. For me, that was the end of the story. The Mother Nature does not make hills with the 4 triangular faces and perfect orientation, but intelligent hands. And then in 2005, I decided to myself, well, this is so big. I cannot forget this. I went back to Houston. I lived in Houston, Texas at that time. I sent the paperwork and request to get permission for preliminary research. I got permission. I went back the same year, 2005, in August, started core drilling, archaeological trenches, lab analysis, everything I did, anomaly. It cannot be explained by natural processes. I wrote my first book about discovery of Bosnian pyramids. I had a big press conference in Sarajevo in October of 2005, and I announced the news that the first pyramids in Europe have been discovered. The first moment I received about 12,000 emails of support. I said, well, this is not a one-man show. This is the cultural heritage of the planet. I went to the University of Sarajevo to archaeologists. I offered cooperation. They said, no pyramids in Bosnia. I went to the National Museum in Sarajevo. They said, no, we never had pharaohs therefore we cannot have pyramids. I said, fine. I established a non-profit foundation under the name Archaeological Park Bosnian Pyramids Sun Foundation, and we started excavating. We were finding concrete blocks and tunnels, and the rest is really history. It has become the most active archaeological site in the world. Every year, hundreds of volunteers, dozens of experts from different fields, our employees, we all focus on this complex and different aspects of this complex. So to answer your question, no, I didn't know about this before. No, nobody wrote about this before. So it was really the complex that's been rediscovered in the year of 2005. Why it's been hidden for thousands of years and people not knowing about it, most probably this was the right time. But its impact, it's not local, it is global. So you've been here a few days in Wieteke near our archaeological locations. You can hear so many languages, people coming from all over the world. So many people got touched with the pyramid energy.
Yeah.
And there is a very specific reason for that.
Absolutely, I feel it too. And I visit quite some what you could call vortex areas around the world. And in my personal belief, I think the areas indeed appear when the time is right, and also get activated by us visiting them, because we put our attention on them and our mind has a power. So we begin to accelerate the engine in a sense that is hiding here. And like a big crystal grid, we are activating all of these vortices, and more people feel called to visit them. Like you said, when people come here, they don't usually, as far as I know, they don't come from a rational calibration. I need to just do this for practical reasons. You come from a calling from the heart. You come from a calling from the soul. And this place has been on my bucket list for a while, so I'm very happy to spend 8 days in these beautiful surroundings. And absolutely also felt the energetic impact, the tunnels. I'm still also visiting other places. It is so much. It is not just the pyramid of the sun. There is a pyramid of the moon, a pyramid of the dragon, and all of them have their beautiful, mathematic relationship to each other. So basically, I've been thinking the word computer chip a lot here. It's like we are standing in the midst of a big chip that is pasted on the world, and all of the elements are connecting to each other, as if they've been merged in and through the tunnels and through crystal elements. And of course, this is all still being unveiled and discovered. But perhaps you can share a little bit more about this idea.
This is nicely said. You are right. The 3 pyramids, sun, moon, dragon, when we connect their tops from sun to the moon, 2,180 meters. From the moon to the dragon, 2,180. From dragon back to the sun, 2,180. So this is an equilateral triangle.
Yes.
There are unlimited number of triangles, but only one is equilateral, the same length on the sides, inner angles at 60 degrees. Therefore, this particular geometrical shape is perfect and part of the sacred geometry.
Yes.
Other elements of sacred geometry, number pi, 3.14, number phi, golden ratio, 1.618, hexagon, equilateral triangles. The ancients knew that when you apply elements of sacred geometry, you get the energy movement. And besides this big triangle, which by the way is on this poster here, sun, moon and dragon,
we have
another triangle between the love pyramid, temple of Mother Earth, entrance to the tunnels and the river, triangle within a triangle, sacred geometry.
Yes.
And we have bigger one which includes another structure, complex of the tumuli in Vratnica. So the ancients were playing with the shapes because they knew they are going to affect the energy of surrounding area, which will in return affect our energies in very beneficial ways. The ancients also knew that the most powerful geometrical shape when it comes to the amplifying of the energy is four-sided pyramid. If you have such a pyramid above energy potent place, the pyramid amplifies existing natural energy sources. What we have in our case, below the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, we have huge iron plate. Why iron? Because iron generates electromagnetic fields. The pyramid pulls this energy, amplifying it. How do we know that it amplifies the energy? Because we have measured at the base, at the top. At the top, 50 times stronger. And then below the Sun pyramid, 21 meters below, we have underground water stream. Water moves, releases negative ions. The pyramid amplifies the concentration of negative ions. 55 meters in another water stream, between the two, electrical charge is generated. The pyramid amplifies this electricity through this energy beam that goes to the top. And then we are finding a lot of quartz crystal. During our archaeological excavation, we are finding it on the pyramid, quartz crystal and white crystal, and we are finding it in the tunnels. Why is that important? Because the quartz crystal has the ability to transform one form of the energy to another one through the process which is called the piezoelectrical effect. Electromagnetism, which we already registered and measured, hits the quartz crystal, it transforms it to the ultrasound. And we can measure the frequency of ultrasound, 28 kilohertz. Some researchers, like American Ralph Ring, has proven that 28 kilohertz is the levitation frequency. We measure it in the tunnels, on the pyramids. You feel light. You climb the pyramid, you get tired, 2 minutes later, this feeling of being tired is gone. In the tunnels, you move so nice like you are a bird. This is the ultrasound. So, we have another form of the energy that we measure. It is called the life energy or the orgone energy. In Eastern traditions, it is called prana or chi. That's the energy that is omnipresent. Dr. William Reich, 70 years back, he invented the first instrument to measure the orgone energy on a scale from 0 to 100%. For example, when you catch the fish, it is alive, 100% orgone energy. You put it on a dry place, in 2 minutes, without the water, it's 80% life energy. After 5 minutes, 50%, after 10 minutes, fish is dead, 0%. Now, if we apply the same process for everything, for us, even for the living space, in a contaminated cities, because they are contaminated, on the scale from 0 to 100, life energy is about 20%. In the villages with a lot of greenery, 50%. In the tunnels, on the pyramids, 100%. So now we can see that pyramids, that they actually amplify different forms of the energy. And we are coming to one of the most revolutionary conclusions we got here in Bosnia. Pyramids are not tombs built for the kings, for the rulers. Pyramids were not built for one dead body. They were built to last almost forever and serve community. The pyramids, the new definition is, the pyramids are energy machines. Now, the stronger those natural energy sources, the stronger the energy of the pyramids. Until 12,000 years back, before the end of the last ice age, our mother planet was much, much stronger. Huge global catastrophes that came, they have weakened our planet so much. So, this pyramid of the sun still amplifies some energies, but it's not so strong like before. And the major thing, the energy was flowing through the network of tunnels. We call it underground labyrinth ramen. When you have a labyrinth, then it also amplifies the energy through the movement. And this energy was feeding the pyramid. And now somebody 5,000 years back have closed all the tunnels down, they seal them off, they fill them with the material, energy flow stopped. So pyramid became very weak energy machine. It still works, but very weak. We can measure, but it does not have influence and impact for the very wide area like before. So now we are getting to very interesting field that here from Bosnia we are advancing science of pyramids, pyramid science, and when you are coming with the new stuff, Egyptologists, archaeologists, geologists, historians, they don't understand you, or they don't want to understand you. So their first reaction, they laugh at you. When they see that you are persistent, the second reaction, they aggressively attack you. But if you are still coming with so many scientific arguments and proofs, then they boycott you. Everything is silent. And the last phase, if you are worthy of the discovery, everybody will accept that like it is so obvious. But you have to go through all those phases.
Yes.
Sometimes it can take 2 years, sometimes 20, sometimes 50, but we are getting there because people are coming, like you said, they are attracted, and you said properly, by their heart, not by their ratio, but their mind. And really the heart has also its own brain, which is even more important than this one here. Intuitively, we know some things are right, but sometimes when ratio takes over, it tells us, no, don't do it. Wrong. We need to have our heart lead us.
And surrender into trust, exactly, without knowing what will come next. So that's very exciting. And often our rational minds say, well, then better don't do it, because it might go wrong. But we have to surrender, and that's what you're clearly doing with persistence and surrender in your own journey and process, which is very beautiful as a torch holder and waymaker for other people to allow themselves to relax more into this and kind of furniture their life this way more, because it's not just here, it's what we bring home from here. It's like you take a download and in many vortex areas something changes in your energy field, for sure. That's also already something we can measure. And for some people we may not feel it while we're here, some people do. This is very different, it's individual. And for other people it just hits you when you get home and you suddenly feel you want to respond differently, or your job doesn't align with you anymore. And for everybody there is a different key in your energetic system, as I've experienced. For some people it is really Giza, or for some people it is Stonehenge, or it is a valley where there's a lot of UFO sightings in Norway. And there are so many of these spots. And most of them, like you just said, have in common that there are these copper or iron plates in the ground and a lot of crystal present. So our Earth has her own mind, her own neurological network, and her own hubs where a lot of things are unfolding. And ancient history civilizations, they knew about this and they used it, they put it to work. So I have a question, one more for you. So nowadays, younger generations are playing around more with the idea of tools like orgonite. And from old civilizations that are in our history books such as Shinto in Japan, there are ways of building in the golden ratio that actually support our system as human beings. And I feel there is a generation right now that wants to put that more forth again. Do you believe that we are intuitively rediscovering the things that are now coming from both directions, the so-called cycles of the past, but also as if the future is speaking to us? Which pathway has the most probability of surviving, in a sense? Do you feel that way? How do you look at this?
Wonderfully defined. Now, what I can see is, what they teach us in schools is the evolution, which is wrong. Let's say in 10, 20, 50,000 years, we were primitive cavemen. Today we are the most technologically advanced, we are the most intelligent, we are the most beautiful. So it's wrong. Why is it wrong? Because we can clearly follow certain global catastrophes. The last one, 11,500 years back, end of the last ice age. Before that, 18,000, 32,000, 55,000, 75,000. So in the last 100,000 years we had at least 5 global catastrophes and 5 cycles of humanity. In some of the previous cycles, people were reaching peaks, not only technological, material, but also spiritual. They were able to get the knowledge, the information from spiritual fields, and they actually had different ways of transportation of huge blocks of 1,000 tons, which we cannot move today. Different ways of building, the architecture. They had very profound understanding of elements of sacred geometry, of astronomy, of our universe. And yes, you are right. Stuff like Fibonacci formula or golden sections, they knew that almost the whole universe was based on this formula. They knew the formulas like Nikola Tesla said, 369, key of the universe. They knew the power of number pi, p, 3.14, and so on. So they were building, they were living, they were laying out stuff in their lives based on those elements of sacred geometry. Now, we can see that this knowledge is again resurfacing. People are getting to know, hey, what was happening there, how they were thinking, what they were applying. In Sweden, when I was there, near one community, dozens of labyrinths of energy, labyrinths of love, labyrinths of transformation, life, freedom. People knew that you make a labyrinth, you make the spiral, you walk certain way, clockwise. You are using certain minerals, you are above underground water flow, energy sources and so on. It can affect you, it can change you. This type of knowledge is coming back. And this is exactly what we do here in Bosnia. You are aware that, besides archaeological location, we purchased a lot of properties around. We built a beautiful park, which 4 years ago, when I was buying those properties, it was swampy, muddy, neglected land. And we transformed it into one of the most beautiful parks in Europe, with installations like stone circles, spirals, labyrinths. We have platforms for yoga, for meditation. In the last 3 years in Egypt, they forbid meditation. We are building those platforms. Last year, Machu Picchu, they forbid meditation. We are encouraging people to meditate. Why? You close your eyes, you go deep, you are in unlimited world. Nobody can stop you. You are completely free. We want to bring freedom back to the people. You see, our park, as you know, you can enter it for free, you can park for free, all the installations are for free. Instead of our society, which is telling you, you can do this, you can do that, the law forbids you. No. We are born free. We want this freedom back to the people. And we face them with that ancient knowledge. Sometimes they come with the new ideas, they bring donations to our park, and that's beautiful when you can see that people feel that they should do something, they should help, they should be part of it. Our volunteers also bringing a lot of knowledge, a lot of exchange of information. I think what we have in 21st century, on one hand, we have a highly technological society. People become alienated from each other. They have those devices, Facebook, they go to social media. They live in the virtual reality. I think the future is not virtual, but real reality, living in harmony with our planet. We need to live in balance with our planet, not to behave as the conquerors, who are taking everything, the plant life, animal kingdom. We behave like, it all belongs to us. We are just one of the life forms on the face of our mother planet. So I think the future is you need to cooperate with every living being. And you know that one of our installations is called Hug the Tree, Show him your love. Exactly. We need to communicate on energetical and every other level. So I think by bringing those knowledge back, by remembering what was happening in the previous cycles, we are helping to our civilization. And future is in hands of all of us. I have witnessed many spiritual communities. For example, Damanhur in Italy, beautiful spiritual community. They combine spiritual and physical aspect. In India, we have Auroville. That's a little village, 2,500 people from 49 nations. Beautiful community, eco food and so on. We have some spiritual kibbutz in Israel for 50, 60 years now. We have some spiritual community in Germany, in Norway, Avdal, we have some in the US. But then in some of them, sometimes we can hear news, power struggle. Because every community has to have president, project manager, ambassador, the guy who deals with the money. Power struggle. What we are building here in Bosnia is different. We have people who come for 2 hours, they visit the tunnels, they move on. We have people who stay for 3 days or 10 days. We have volunteers stay for 15 days or 3 months. We have people who keep coming every year. We are building some type of the open community. It doesn't matter if you came for a couple of hours or for 10 years now, you got touched by the pyramid energy. For some people, it is like profound impact. For some other people, just another experience. But I think if we stay open like that, then we can build different world with different energy.
Yes, I fully agree. And I thank you so very, very much for your time, your effort, and your ongoing exploration and your message to the world. Thank you so much for allowing me and everybody else to be here and
You're very welcome.
Explore with you so much. Absolutely beautiful.
Okay,
and thank you all beautiful co-creators of the new paradigm for watching and tuning in again. I love you all and see you in the next one. Ciao!